Hello, my dears. So Katie Hopkins was arrested. Katie Hopkins recently stated in a podcast interview that she was arrested for comments that she made on her comedic Katie's Arms show, and she is now waiting to be charged.
You know, this idea, I want you to come and disagree with me. We just are moving in that same direction. And that's what my comedy shows do. They allow people to laugh at the things you're not allowed to say, because I can just about get away with saying them now in the guise of comedy. And it's a fine line. I was arrested and interviewed under caution. I haven't spoken about this yet, about 3 weeks ago. And I'm waiting to be charged for the crime of online communications, crime of speech. For my Katie's, I do a pub night online called the Katie's Arms.
I love the Katie's Arms.
So I've been arrested for that.
I see.
Because of what I said on my Katie's Arms pub.
Now, I suppose for many, this might be very unsurprising considering what's been happening over here in the UK. We've had people being arrested for social media posts for quite some time now. And a lot of this seems to have started with the Online Safety Act introduction, as well as all of the amendments that Keir Starmer has made to it since he's gotten into power. And because of this Online Safety Act, Ofcom now have power to regulate social media in the same way that they have been doing with television. Now, I have kind of been anticipating that at some point this day was going to come where this regulation was going to start targeting commentators, because I remembered not too long ago I saw something similar happening to Kelly J. Keane. She said something on her YouTube channel, someone reported her to the police, and then they turned up to her door to question her about it.
Now, if you've ever had your car stolen or you've had your house has been burgled and you tell the police, then they won't even turn up. They'll just give you some sort of number for your insurance company. They won't investigate it. But if you dare to talk about drag queens, they might be round banging on your door pretty damn quickly because you could be guilty of a hate crime. This is what the founder of Standing for Women, Kelly Jane Keane, found out. She's going to join us in just a second, but first let's have a little look at a video she made.
I come downstairs and there's two police at the door. He said, we've had a complaint. Somebody's phoned up because in one of your videos, you were being untoward about paedophiles. I said, it's a crime to be untoward about paedophiles? He said, well, the person was offended. I said, well, yes, and I'm offended. I'm offended that you're here trying to silence women, talking about the safeguarding of children. He said, it's been recorded as a hate crime. I said, is it a hate crime or a hate incident? And he said, I'm not here to argue. And I said, have you watched the video? He said, no. And I said, so you're here because somebody was offended about something that you haven't even seen? Yes. Should I go back and watch the video? And I said, well, I would have thought that was something that you should be doing before you come out to somebody's house on a Sunday afternoon. How insane!
Why is it that police officers don't seem to have a lot of time to tackle real serious crimes, but yet they seem to always have the time to turn up to people's doors for stuff like this? I saw not too long ago there was a video going viral of some British police officers turning up at a woman's house because they wanted to seize the phone of her daughter because apparently she had seen or looked at a social media post that they didn't approve of. We don't even know what the post was, but this was the video.
What was it?
Sorry, I don't like the camera. You can have my body cam. I can exhibit that to you. I just don't like the camera, really.
Okay, well, I'm doing this because this is my own house and I am telling you why I'm doing it. So I just need to know why would she's basically viewed a post which is not an arrestable offence.
Viewed an offence, that's been...
Okay.
It happened in May and you're completely fine. The only thing is we need to seize the phone at this current moment. The phone needs to get seized from us, otherwise we will escalate this further. So
but with a voluntary interview.
So have you seized anyone else? Is she the only child you're picking on?
Voluntary interview, you'd be able to come.
Have you spoken to anyone else? No, we'll come to the station now.
Do you mind letting her finish her sentence before?
Yeah.
Does have to get further escalation, unfortunately.
That's fine, we'll come to the station now.
The phone isn't seized right now and we're not able to basically get the phone. We'd have to escalate this further, which means your daughter will get arrested.
For what? Viewing a social media post? Is that
I need to go with her in order to...
No, absolutely not.
What can we do to
prevent
destruction of evidence?
In almost all instances where people are being arrested for social media posts, it's usually because they're being classified as some kind of hate crime. And in my personal opinion, the concept of a hate crime should be abolished. I am 100% with South Park on this issue.
Yes, over the past few years, our great country has been developing new hate crime laws.
If somebody kills somebody, it's a crime. But if someone kills somebody of a different color, it's a hate crime.
And we think that that is a savage hypocrisy, because all crimes are hate crimes. If a man beats another man because that man was sleeping with his wife, is that not a hate crime? If a person vandalizes a government building, is it not because of his hate for the government?
The motivation for a crime shouldn't affect the sentencing.
A cartoon has more common sense than our politicians. And another reason why personally I would support the abolishment of hate crime laws is because of the fact that these laws are so vague, they are often just used to just silence speech. Because most of the time when people are reporting hate crimes, it's usually because of something someone said. So something that someone might have said on social media that the person interprets as being hateful because they don't like it or they find it offensive. And that's a huge problem, because if we're defining laws based on who's offended, then that means that law is very subjective, because what's offensive to one person is going to not be offensive to another person, even if they're part of the same protected characteristic group. So if laws are subjective, then they're useless. And so it's really no wonder that these laws are often very much abused and just used by people who want to silence people who have opinions they don't like or don't want to hear. But in the case of Katie Hopkins' arrest, I do wonder if this is the start of something bigger. I mean, we've heard of people being arrested and even serving lengthy prison time for posts that they've made on Facebook or Twitter. But now it seems like we're starting to enter more into the video creation space. Now, I would like to know exactly why Katie Hopkins received a visit from the police. Did she say something about a group that is considered to be within the protected characteristics, and that's why someone turned up? Is it because of a critical comment she made about, because she's very critical of politicians, so I wonder, was it something to do with that? I really wish we had more information about it. Quick update, after doing more digging, I finally managed to find out why Katie Hopkins was arrested. She was arrested for making a self-deprecating joke. Yes, you heard that correctly. She made fun of herself, and that is why the police paid her a visit. If you don't believe me, here's the clip.
So after my brain surgery and stuff, some of my outer periphery is gone, but my left leg, if I don't look at my left foot, I don't know where it is,
For
right?
real?
No, for real.
Wow.
This is real.
Yeah.
So this foot here, so obviously I can see it, I can touch it, but if I'm not watching it, it fucks off on its own. I'm a proper spaz. And actually, it's the last thing I got hauled into the police station for in the UK, just before I got here. I was told I would either be arrested or I had to turn up for interview under caution, was because on my Katie's Arms, my pub, where I just, let rip, whatever, I called myself a spaz. And I got arrested, effectively, by British
Jesus
police
Christ.
because that's offensive.
Jesus.
It's
What a horrible
demonic.
place.
Yeah, I'm waiting to find out if I'm going to be charged against the Online Communications Act for
Yeah.
calling myself a spaz.
I'm so
Unbelievable.
terrified of going to the UK.
Yeah,
what
don't
would
do
happen
it.
to
Don't
me?
ever do it.
I don't know
can do
why,
it.
honestly, why. I mean, I would love you to be there, but why would you go?
No.
So it would appear that self-deprecating humour is now officially against the law. But it does make you wonder, if they're now starting to do this with people who are making videos, is this going to affect podcasts? Is it going to affect commentators? Is it going to affect citizen journalists or independent journalists? Like, what does this mean for the future if now people can be arrested and interviewed under caution? I can't imagine why it wouldn't, because if you are already targeting people on Twitter, targeting people on Facebook, why wouldn't people on YouTube and other video platforms, for example, start to experience the same treatment? We haven't really seen it as much, because often when we see someone being arrested or questioned, it's usually because of a tweet or something like that. Maybe because they're just a lot more active on Twitter than they are on other platforms. I'm not entirely sure. It's all very dystopian, very Orwellian. I don't know what Katie Hopkins said, but if she was to go to prison for whatever it is that she was arrested for, then that is gonna backfire drastically on the establishment, in my personal opinion. Katie Hopkins, from what I've seen, she has built quite a large following now on YouTube. She has got quite a lot of people who really like her content. And so I do think a lot of people who previously hated her has started to like her. And so I think she is now more popular than she used to be. So I do think that if they were to actually put her in prison for whatever it is that they're charging her with, it's gonna backfire on them massively. Because a lot of people now don't really trust mainstream media. They don't really trust the mainstream media narratives, and all they're going to see is yet another person being charged for something they said on social media. And a lot of people hate that already. Like, most people I know don't approve of this whole idea of people being arrested for tweets or social media posts, and a lot of people don't approve of the idea that you could have police coming to your door to question you about something you viewed on Facebook or something you've posted on social media. And so if they put any more people in prison for something like this, it's only going to backfire on them, because it's just going to make more and more people dislike them, and it's just going to make them more and more unpopular. I do think they should have learnt by now from what's happened with Tommy Robinson. I swear to God, it seems to me like every time Tommy Robinson goes to prison, he comes out more popular. And I think the reason why is because everybody's so critical of the establishment. And I think a lot of this is because of the blowback from what happened with COVID as well. I think the pandemic, the way it was handled, is also a big part of why people don't trust the establishment anymore. Whenever they see someone being targeted by the establishment and targeted by the government, targeted by the police, it makes people think, oh, what is it that they don't want us to know? What is it that that person was trying to tell us that they don't want us to know? And it's probably true, because if it wasn't true, then why are they working so hard to silence that person? Especially because people are a lot more fiery now when it comes to the topic of free speech because of what people saw happening to Charlie Kirk. A lot of people across the world turned up to mourn him.
Erstes für Charlie Kirk, dein Widerstand und dein Einspruch.
And it was really interesting because I had no idea how popular Charlie Kirk was. Like, I knew of him because sometimes these videos would pop up on my social media. I never really followed him or watched his content to really know much about him as a person. And I can now see like why he was very popular and why a lot of people liked him, because his approach was very different. Charlie Kirk was very conversational. He was a lot more lighthearted, and he was a lot friendlier compared to other American conservative commentators that I've seen. So I can see why he was as popular as he was, to the point where so many people around the world were mourning him. I do think that him being assassinated has really fired up something in people who previously would have not really taken part in protests. And so because of that, I think that these kind of actions of arresting people for things that they say on social media, or going to people's houses to question them about things they've seen on social media. People never liked it before, but people detest it even more now, because people feel a lot more passionately about these topics of like freedom of speech and stuff. So hopefully Katie Hopkins is fine and she doesn't end up in prison, because I don't think anyone should be arrested or put in prison for opinions that they've shared on social media. But like I said, this is the UK. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that a comedian who made comments while he wasn't even in the country came to visit the UK, got arrested at the airport by armed officers, and was questioned over some posts that he'd made because they were gender critical posts.
The Irish comedy writer Graham Linehan, famous for Father Ted and The Fast Show, stepped off a flight from the US on Monday to find 5 armed officers waiting for him at Heathrow Airport. This is what happened next.
You're under arrest. I don't believe it. I'm under arrest.
He recorded that exchange, in which they tell him it's over 3 posts on X about transgender people, and that he's arrested on suspicion of inciting violence.
It's not looking good. And so I do think it's important for us to talk about these kind of things so that people understand exactly what's going on, and to understand why it's important for people to not just allow this kind of stuff to continue, because it is going to get more and more I think it's going to get worse the more and more people don't push back on it. But those are just my thoughts. Do let me know what you think in the comments about this whole situation. If you found this video interesting, you may as well like and subscribe. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. I will see you in my next video.